Spec-Series on Thursday, which took place last night. We have the sprint race loaded up here. I think, actually, let's just exit and double check that that is what we have got. There we go. If we go down to my collection, sprint race, there we go. Lovely stuff. Thank you very much, BX, for providing the footage for us today, and looking forward to seeing how you all got on. Here we go. Let's get this sprint race underway. If we have a look, let's get the settings sorted out. Okay, so we have got Fitzinho starting in 16th in the white, JC 15th, then we've got BX starting all the way down in 14th. That's quite surprising. I'd expect him to qualify better, but I guess it is an oval, so who can tell what's going to happen. Rigger starting 13th, Tepos starting 12th, O'Leary in 11th for the red team. Just in front of him got Matey, then we've got Tap in 9th, Moose King in 8th, SV 7th, Sam for the red as well, starting in 6th, Pyro up in 5th. That's a big improvement on how it went last week at at Road Atlanta. And we've got Major in 4th, CMP who did an absolute awesome job last week in 3rd. Then on the front row we have Ross and Licks and Jack. So let us get this race underway. There we go, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and Ross has jumped the start. So that is going to screw him over a bit, and possibly the person behind him as well, as Lixon pulls away. CMP, his blue team teammate, following behind, but he has got quite a little bit of a gap there. Major tucking right up next to CMP, looking to pull out to the outside, but not really much space to do so in this early stage of the 15-minute race, although he is looking at going for it as CMP pulls right up to the back of his teammate. Major backs off a tiny bit. Matey up to 6th, pulling in the green cars in front of him as the formation starts. There we go, look at that, every car in tow with a couple of green cars pulling out of the slipstream relatively early. I guess not too many people wanting to make big moves too early on in the race, trying to obviously keep it clean, although BX is saying let the chaos begin. So there we go, CMP 3 abreast already as Major shoots through into the lead. But yeah, I guess it is going to be absolute chaos, and my voice will hopefully last, but I can't make any promises, as Lixin nudges CMP wide and the white cars get underneath him as Jack pulls up to the back of Major but gets into the tow. CMP's been really shuffled out of order there. He is dropped all the way back to 7th now as Pyro pulls up to the back of Jack, gives him a little nudge, which pushes him onto the back of Major, and he gives Major a nudge, and Major then gains an advantage as Matey looks to get a move done on Jack, but Jack doing just enough to cover the inside for the time being, although Matey's not quite alongside yet. There we go, we've got the 4 leaders here. Sam, but now Sam getting a move done on Matey, poking his nose up the inside. There's nothing Matey could do there. Once the nose is in, Sammy goes through, takes 3rd place, and SV is now closing up to the back of Sam to... which lines is he going to follow though? He's going to follow Sam or Matey. He's confused at the moment, but he has picked Sam as they go 3 abreast. Oh! Oh God! Oh, that is not what he wanted to happen at all. That wasn't in his battle plan at all. SV, what's he? Okay, so he's come up to the back of Sam. He's nudged him through a little bit. He's obviously got himself out of shape a little bit, made contact with Matey and put himself into the wall. Thank God he's ghosted, so it's not like NASCAR and they all get collected into the madness. And that has put him dead last as Major still leads the way with Jack just behind. Sam putting a bit of pressure, trying to force him down onto the apron, but not doing a good enough job. So Sam is still stuck on the outside there, and you've got to imagine that Pyro is going to follow Jack through, although no, Sam has managed to tuck himself in there. So it's the 2 red cars that lead. The teammates will want to work together to try and pull away, but the trouble is at this point in the race there's too much going on for just 2 cars to be able to pull away, as they all want to get to the front. To have just a little look further back, so we've got Pyro in 4th, Rigger in 5th, so we've got the two white teammates now, although as Rigger pulls alongside, Pyro is still in the tow, so Pyro should have the advantage here as he does just get back past Rigger, but Pyro's now going for a move up the inside of the 2 red teammates who've made their way to the outside, as Jack now takes the lead. Jack takes the lead. Pyro into 2nd then, with his white teammate Matey just behind. Matey obviously getting a little bit caught out by SV, who I think, has retired from the race. But Matey's obviously made his way back onto the podium, pushing Jack now round the first turn corner. I don't know what the Americans call their turns, but this will be 1, 2 and 3. I reckon that's what I'm going to call it. So there we go, we've got our top 3 there in tow with one another. Behind them we have Tepos, who's just behind Matey, closing, gives him a little bit of a kiss. CMP has caught back up after getting shuffled right out of the order, and he's not under pressure from Rigger or Fitz behind, but will be trying to close that gap to join his blue teammate of Jack up into the lead. I can't believe we're less than 5 minutes into the race, less of a third of the way through, and my voice is this tired. I'm not looking forward to the 40-minute feature, I can tell you that much. So let's have a look. Okay, so closing up to Tepos. Is he going to try and get a move done? No, he's just going to give him a little kiss on his bum and close up to the front 3. It's smart racing at this point, but there is still the gaggle behind. She's being led by Rigger as Major now manages to poke his way through. BX hasn't come through. I mean, as I said, you know, I guess it is oval racing, but he took an absolute clean sweep, there we go, of 43 points at Road Atlanta last week. So surprised he's not higher up, but as I said, you know, it is oval racing and it ain't over till the fat lady sings. I'm pretty sure that's what they say. So JC in 9th, but yeah, getting caught out there. Took too long to pull out on getting a move done by Major, which has allowed JC to shoot up the order into 6th place as he closes down on the front 5. She's currently being led by Jack, with Pyro tucked up neatly in 2nd. Tepos leading now this group of 4 for the green team, with two white teammates tucked up behind him. Are the white team going to try and get a move done to try and close up to Pyro? Although it looks as though they already have. Yeah, Tepos has closed up to Pyro in the process there, as Matey now gets a move done on Rigger, and that is going to allow JC not to go up the inside, unfortunately. So he's going to have to just tuck in behind as they go onto the back straight after turn one. CMP leading the charge from the mid pack, with Major in 8th, BX just behind in 9th, Sam obviously being shuffled right out of the order, down in 10th, Leary even further back, Tap unable to connect to the back of Leary, Moose King, Fitz and Ross sort of in their own world, which is definitely not what you want to happen in this oval racing. And let's get back to the front where the chaos is unfolding. It is just a group, it's a group of 9 now. It's a group of 9, all in tow, and the only thing that separates them is stuff like that, where there's a little bit of too much kissing going on, as Tepos is now being shuffled out and is on his own in a train, but has managed to squeeze himself back in just in front of Pyro, who's sitting in 4th. There we go, Tepos being ushered to the outside by Pyro, but is that going to give him a disadvantage? I think it will, as Matey manages to hold on to 2nd. Pyro now closes up to Matey, closing that gap that there once was for Tepos to slot into. He's managing to slot in though behind Pyro. So JC unable to take advantage of Tepos being shuffled out of line, as Pyro kisses Matey, and that creates a little bit of a gap, but thankfully Tepos is going to return the love and push Pyro back up. Is Pyro going to lift off? No, he's not lifting off to make the contact a nice smooth progression, as Major and Rigger are now launching an attack around the outside. I don't think it's going to pay off how they'd like it to though, as they remain in 5th and 6th for the time being, so obviously not being able to build up enough speed to get the move done round the outside, and that has ensured that we hold on to this 9-car train, which is not really changing very much, although something's happening at the front. Major's looked for around the outside, tried to get under Tepos. Tepos nearly had a moment, but was able to hold on to it, as Rigger's looking to get a move done on Major, but nothing's quite happening for him. Major is going to pull to the outside to go past Tepos. Is Rigger going to push him as well? Yeah, so Rigger has just given him a little bit of a love tap, which is going to help him, but ultimately does not have enough speed to get the move done on Tepos, as now CMP has pulled up alongside and got up the inside of Rigger. CMP's made up a place up to 6th, but the front stays the same, with Jack leading the way, Matey in 2nd, Pyro 3rd, Tepos having a look to the outside in 4th, but unable to do so, and that's going to push him out of line, so Major's going to take over in 4th there. Tepos unable to close in behind Major, so CMP's also going to get a place on Tepos, move up to 5th place, as CMP is now being shuffled out of the order now, and is not going to be able to get back in after Tepos. He's going to have to wait for Tepos to go through before he tucks back into the train, with Rigger and BX behind, and JC at the back of the train. There we go, we've got Major and Tepos creating an outside overlap there, but CMP is going to tuck in and Major's going to tuck in as well. Tepos getting ousted once more from the group. He is managing though to tuck in to 6th place, as Major gets a little bit wide, which causes CMP to go through, allows CMP to go through, should I say, as Major hasn't been able to get himself back in the train, but Tepos makes contact with the back of CMP, and CMP just about holds on to 4th place for the time being. Obviously, CMP is the middle blue car of the book-ended train of blues here, with JC just about holding on to the group for the time being, but it does look like he's struggling to hold on as we go back down the order. Has BX is still in 6th place, so he's making some order as Rigger and Major have both been shuffled back. Tepos also getting shuffled back now. What's that? Okay, Moose King pitted. Not sure what's happened there, but we've still got Jack leading the way, followed by Matey, Pyro. So that has all been left relatively unchanged, except for BX coming up to 4th place with his white teammate Rigger in 5th. So this is a nice little place for the white team to be in at the moment, in 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. I wonder if they're in a party at the moment, and if they're communicating with one another, and if they're going to be talking about when they want to make their move on Jack, because there is less than 3 minutes to go, so I don't know, 2 or 3 laps left, and the white team will want to take the valuable points as CMP shuffles Rigger out of the train, and Rigger gets demoted once more by Tepos, who follows CMP through with Major and JC Lee at the back of the train here at Daytona to come down to the 2nd banked corner. Jack has done a fabulous job of controlling this race, to give him all the respect he deserves. He hasn't really put a foot wrong, he's just managed to hug that yellow line, and nobody has managed to mount a proper attack, or at least an attack that will is good enough to defeat his lead, as Matey does his best to just stay tucked up behind. Pyro doing the exact same thing, as is BX in 4th, CMP now in 5th, Tepos 6th, Rigger in 7th, and JC finally making up a place to go up to 8th and shuffling Major down to 9th place, as now Rigger looks to get a move done on CMP, but the blue teammate JC is going to help CMP out, give him a little nudge and follow him through to shuffle Rigger down to 8th. Obviously we've still got the white team in a very comfortable position behind Jack, but Jack has not looked threatened for 1 second this entire race. His tyres looking very nice, yeah, hasn't really put a foot wrong. CMP launching an attack, but I don't think it's going to pay off for him. I think Tepos is going to take advantage and move up to 5th place here. Tepos is going to try and go one better and push with a little bit of argy-bargy, push BX out. JC tries to follow Tepos through, so that hasn't worked out one bit for BX, going down 2 places as Tepos now shoves Pyro out the way as well. This is getting very, very feisty. Don't like the look of this. Oh god, as is that Pyro? Pyro gets spun around into 9th place. Oh my god. Let's go back. So where does this all start? So we've got JC going up the inside, Pyro on the high line, goes into the back of Samurai, the BX comes around the outside, and CMP ultimately does send him round. I don't think that was CMP's fault necessarily, but it was getting very, very argy-bargy, which is not good at all, as Rigger is also shuffled down to the back on the final lap. So this, what once was a very strong position for the white team, they've now got Pyro in 9th, Rigger 8th, Major's not one of them, but BX in 5th, and to be fair, Matey holds on to it, as does Lixon, Jack who holds on to the victory. JC doing a fabulous job, biding his time in 9th place for the majority of that race, and then coming through to get himself onto, admittedly, the bottom, but still a step on the podium. Well, fair play to Matey though. A lot of these drivers drove a very, very good race. Again, obviously expected a little bit more from BX, but I guess, as I said before, it is oval racing. Anything can happen. Major coming across the line 7th, so obviously not a great showing for the red team. Rigger in 8th. Pyro came across in 9th place. Fitz in 10th. Tap cruising to 11th. O'Leary, they're all out of fuel. Did not know that fuel was going to be an issue. Okay, that's one thing to note for the feature. There we go. Lovely. Let us now move on to the feature race. Obviously, we'll start in reverse grid. Just take on board some water, get my voice rested up before we go into this feature race. Yeah, well done, Jack. It looked like a relatively easy dab. Obviously, plenty of chaos, but it unfolded behind you, so not really your problem, is it? Let's see if the feature race was any different. I've been told possibly not. Not sure what the problem is here. The TV's just taking a little bit longer than I'd expect to load up. What we might do actually is just close the application.